Hola hermanos y hermanas. So, I'm not sure. I have some coffee plant here. I'm in Belgium. There is a bit of connection between the two. Where am I, Roel?
You're at Mucho Gusto Coffee in
Oh,
Hasselt in Belgium. Welcome.
ladies and gentlemen, Roel. So, Roel is a roaster and the owner of Mucho Gusto Coffee, a specialty coffee roastery based in Hasselt, a small town, let's say
In Flanders, yeah.
one hour from Brussels. And so, please let us know everything about your story and how you got involved into coffee.
That's a long one, Ali. Getting involved in coffee is a long story, from liking coffee from being a kid. Until about 20 years ago, I decided to start working for a coffee company. I always had been into market research, marketing, consulting and those things, and I looked for a company who needed a marketing manager. So I started my first job in coffee as a marketing manager for a mid-sized roaster in Belgium. After 5 years, discovering more and more about coffee, cupping coffee, learning about roasting coffee, everything coffee, which turns out into coffee plants like these. Yeah. Exactly. Coffee so farmer. Everything coffee. I became Belgian Cup Tasting Champion in 2010. At that time, I thought like it's time to become an independent, start my own coffee bar. So Mucho Gusto Coffee, as a coffee bar, specialty coffee place in my hometown in Hasselt, is having its 14th birthday this year.
Oh, congratulations then.
Thanks.
So, but as I know, you travel a lot at Origin.
Yeah.
So, firstly, I ask you how this love to going to Origin was born.
Okay. Well, you can already tell from the name Mucho Gusto, which means nice to meet you in Spanish, that there's a connection between Spanish-speaking origin countries. The coffee thing, myself, the love for the culture over there. We traveled, and we as my wife and myself, we traveled a lot when we were like in our 20s, backpacking to Central America. Fell in love with Guatemala, fell in love with Mexico, those things. Really liked it, liked the atmosphere, liked the traveling, the discovering. And later on, coffee came in as the second part to that story. So I was like, if I have to build a relationship with a farmer or producer, it needs to be, first of all, in Guatemala. So 10 years ago, 2016, when I started the roastery as well, I also started the direct relationship with the farmers in Guatemala. In the next years, I built on relationships with farmers everywhere in Central America, Nicaragua, El Salvador, this year Costa Rica for the first time, as a gift for myself for my 10th visit to Central America. So it's close to the heart, always. Coffee is close to the heart and Central America is close to the heart. So really interesting. And I love the fact that you can build on relationships with the farmers, learn from each other, share knowledge. I think that's what specialty coffee makes so special for me. It's like it's a type of a community. People appreciate. I appreciate the producer appreciates the barista,
Yeah,
the roaster. You have this connection, and it's very lovely. You know, I cupped the coffee at Origin, I selected it, I roasted it, and I brew it in my bar. So it's like a full circle type of thing. I can give feedback to the farmer like, hey man, this year your coffee, hey lady, this year your coffee is a bit more like this or that. For next year, can we talk about it? Can we do something? We learn from each other a lot. And it's interesting to share knowledge with people.
Yes, because with as well, since we also travel at Origin, every year we receive a call from Roel. Hey, let's bring all together some coffee from Guatemala. And over there with the big café, right?
Yes.
You have a close relationship. How do you build the microlots that you import with us?
For example, one of the first farms I ever visited in Guatemala is a farm called Pampojila from Alex. And we shook hands that first day. And after 10 years, we're still shaking hands.
That's good.
So it's very nice that we can build those long connections, not like the one-shot type of thing. And it's something I like to convince my own clients, even in the coffee bar, how important it is to build relationships with producers, because that's how they can grow, how they can invest, how they can become better, how they can produce better coffee. And I think that's a win situation for everyone involved, for the final consumer, for me on a personal level. I like to do that. I don't like to go to different farms every single week or every single year. I like, of course, to get new connections, but I cherish the old ones. I think they're very valuable. And I try to bring that story to my clients, consumers, but also like restaurants and bars that buy my coffee. Like, hey, this coffee contains, if it's a blend, like this is Guatemala from Atitlan region, Pampojila. It's a nice coffee that brings this flavor to your blend. Enjoy it. Bring it to your clients as well. So this whole connection type of thing is what I really like. And we share knowledge. Again, I think it's very important to do that and give feedback to each other. Yeah.
It really sounds like you have like a strong passion on the product.
I do. It's not always easy to have such a strong relationship with the product, because not every single coffee drinker has the same involvement. So sometimes you feel like that your own passion is above the level of what people are looking for. Some people are just looking for, let's say, an ordinary coffee, and they are not ready for the story.
All right, I understand this big connection with and the long-term relationship that you are building with the producers. But how do you build the microlots that every year you import?
I have a certain profile, certain cup profiles that I'm looking for. Coffee always should be lively. That's one of my criteria in selecting coffee. Lively means like there should be a certain level of freshness, acidity, intensity in a cup. So all the flavors and all the aromas come out of the cup. There's a lot of coffee, and coffee is mainly, for most people, like a little sweet, a little nutty, mocha, tasty, chocolatey, and that's it, which is okay. But that's like the ground floor, the ground level for me. I really appreciate coffee that has more to offer, and you really need some acidity to open up the flavors. A nicely balanced sweet and acidic coffee is what I really look for. So when I start selecting coffee, cupping coffee, I always ask producers to bring coffees at a certain quality level, which have the flavors that I like, the lively flavors, the fruity flavors, all those. I think that's what specialty coffee should be about, coffee that stands out, no matter how it's processed, whether it's a natural, anaerobic natural, a honey processed coffee, washed or double soaked, washed or whatever. It should always be like, upfront and clear that it's different from classic coffees, from the supermarket shelf coffee. And people really need to understand that there's more in a cup than just nutty, chocolatey, basic coffee. So when I look for microlots, I always am in favor of the profiles that stand out.
Interesting. And well, we are hearing everything, the positive sides of the specialty coffee. I would like to ask you one question about if you have like something critical that you criticize to the specialty coffee scene, or yes, all the supply chain also.
There's more positive things, fortunately. That's the good part of it. I like to be positive about specialty coffee still, after 20 years in the business. I think it's wonderful that specialty coffee came to the forefront for a lot of people. On the other hand, if you want to hear something more critical, it's not at the position or at a place that maybe a lot of us hoped it would be. I mean, like if you take like the average consumer, for example, in Belgium, coffee is a very ordinary product. It has always been there. It's there in the morning when you have breakfast. It's there in the afternoon when you have it with something sweet. So coffee is always all over. But the quality level of the coffee that is all over the place is not necessarily good coffee. So we hoped within the specialty coffee industry, especially down here in Central Europe and in Belgium, that would change, and that would change a lot. It changed, but honestly not as much as I would have liked to. So how come? The main reason I see is that a lot of people appreciate convenience into coffee cups, coffee pads before, convenient machinery, like those automatic small espresso machines. You put in the beans, you put on the you push the button, and you have like an espresso. And honestly, all those convenient type of coffee machinery and cups and things are not doing well on a quality level. So if we gained convenience, but we lost a lot of quality. And the coffee we are drinking currently is like a filter brew on an automatic filter machine, which is easy and convenient as well. But still, that machine looks like too inconvenient for a lot of people. So we are moving into consumers having these automatic machines and the cup machines, and they're forgetting how tasty a filter coffee can be. And for me, filter coffee is the best way to enjoy specialty coffee still at home. Because it's very hard to brew a proper espresso at home. So people should go, well, if I could give society one advice, it would be like, get into filter coffee again and appreciate different origins, different lots, different coffee varieties, different processings. Enjoy the whole picture instead of choosing just the machinery because of the convenience. Because the convenient coffee machines only brew the average like nutty, chocolatey, espresso-like, under-extracted coffees. Yes. And that's the only critical thing about the market right now. People have too many of those automatic, convenient machines.
But don't you think that should be also the specialty coffee industry to find ways? The consumer, the average consumer, he has been driven from these big companies,
exactly.
big industry, and they are the guides. So don't you think that specialty coffee industry and big companies in this sector, they should be more, I don't know, maybe in the marketing side, push educational
yes.
educational size to increase the how people understand the coffee, and also as well finding ways to make special coffees more easy for people who drinks every day. And
I totally agree. I think if more companies, even like big ones like you talk about, should be promoting how tasty filter brewed coffee can be and how convenient it can be, that would be a win for everybody in the sector. It would be a win for me as a barista. It would be a win for me as a roaster. It would be a win for the producers, because a lot of producers produce very nice, floral, citric, high quality coffees. But if they are roasted too dark and you put them into like these semi-automatic espresso machines, then you lose all of the nice flavors and you lose a lot of hard work, hand labor done by all the people picking the coffee, into processing the coffee, to me roasting by hand, small batch coffees, by me as a barista, whatever, all the handwork, all the effort from a nice product from the start is lost.
Sure.
So if all people in the specialty coffee industry could emphasize that trying to brew a good filter coffee at home is the way to go, and that this can be quite convenient as well. It's not so time consuming, it's not so difficult.
That's the main solution.
It's not so much more time than pushing the button, but the quality will be much higher.
Sure.
So I think we will, the whole industry, whether it's a partner like you, like Maratera, offering a lot of possibilities around logistics and trade, whether it's the producer, whether it's me as a roaster, all of us will gain.
Wow. Okay. Yes, really nice idea of business that you have, and it's pretty interesting because we've been traveling all around Europe in big cities. And Hasselt, how many people live in Hasselt?
Let's say 80,000.
Yeah, 80,000. It's one of like the smallest one that we've
Yes.
been visiting. So how your consumers react to your specialty coffees?
Okay, good question and interesting.
And also, how is the specialty coffee scene in Hasselt, but in general in Belgium?
Belgium was quite early into specialty coffee, mainly cities like Antwerp and Ghent,
Okay.
the bigger ones. When I started the coffee bar in my hometown, there was no specialty coffee. So I've been doing a lot of pioneering with the bar, later on as a roaster. And that goes for the whole province, actually. The whole province of Limburg, where Hasselt is the capital of. And it was very new. We introduced a lot of things that people never heard of. No one knew what a geisha coffee was, or variety was. No one knew what a flat white.
We have a geisha right here.
We have some other ones. No, the geisha. I have a geisha inside.
Inside. Okay.
Inside. This is like a lot of bourbones.
Okay.
These varieties from Central America, by the way. I raised those plants myself from the seed to these little plants. So we changed a lot of things in town, but still almost 14 years ago, to be precise, down the road, specialty coffee is not like the normal thing. It's still a niche within the market. Okay. So we build on very loyal clients who come in almost daily or weekly, enjoy espresso, enjoy a flat white, enjoy a filter brew, whatever. Go home with a small bag of coffee that they like. That is in-season coffee, freshly harvested coffee, never old crop, never those things. Good roasted, high quality roast, not over roasted coffee, but properly developed coffee. This is good roasted, like medium roast, and a bit lighter for the filter brews like this Kenya. That type of coffee, but still, after 14 years, that's a niche. Okay. It's not the normal. It's not the way to go for the majority. So it's still hard work. I've been doing barista courses for many years in the bar. I have some new ideas to make people more acquainted with what specialty coffee is about, what producers do. I've been shooting some footage at Origin. I'm thinking about a concept to bring that to my clients, to give people a better idea about what coffee producing is about, what the culture of the coffee producing countries is about, to get them more involved into the product, because I think that's what's needed. As long as people, whether it's in my hometown or whether it's in Brussels in the capital or whatever, look at coffee as a low involved, daily product, they will never ever show more engagement. They will never understand how passionate people can be like me about the product. So we really need to get people more involved as well. And in a small town like my own hometown, it will be always more difficult than in Antwerp or Ghent. Brussels was late into specialty coffee, the capital, but now it's booming since a couple of years. So you get a lot of new bars serving good quality specialty coffee. Okay. So that's changing, and it's nice to see that Brussels finally, as a capital of our country, is really into specialty coffee. It's not the same level as Berlin or London, but it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. It's grabbing attention, and young people are getting into it, so it's good.
And from your point of view, the specialty coffee roasters are ready to serve the average consumer without losing quality?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think the consumer needs to, like I said, needs more involvement with the product. Okay. Consumer needs to forget how ordinary coffee is. The consumer needs to understand that there's a difference between the ordinary and the specialty. And we're not there yet. We haven't crossed that bridge yet, I guess, on average, for the majority of the consumers. Maybe in some bars, maybe in some cities, yes, but not the average consumer on the Belgian market. Specialty coffee is still niche. It's more expensive. So you need more involved people.
Sure.
Why do you want to spend more on the bag of coffee than on the one you buy from the supermarket shelf? If you don't get the difference.
The difference, for sure.
Then it's just like a price difference. As long as people look at specialty coffee as just like a more expensive coffee, don't get involved, never ever understand the taste of it, don't know how to appreciate and consume the coffee. If you never had a coffee at body temperature, a specialty coffee, filter brew at body temperature, you will never understand that there was some raspberry in this coffee. Because if you drink it very hot from the wrong machinery, you never get those flavors. And then you don't understand why it's more expensive. So we really need to change people's involvement and how they look at brewing coffee at home to get them into specialty coffee.
And here, as you mentioned, that the average people, they think that coffee is chocolatey, nutty, these flavors. In your clients, what type of flavors they have in mind, and where do you see Belgium in the micro scene having culturally these type of flavors? Like for example, in Italy, if I have to say, we really think that coffee should not be high acidity, but because and we don't like that high acidity or high sweetness. Because we've been growing with this
espresso culture,
and also our taste thinks that is like this, and we prefer it in the average consumer.
Italy is the south of Europe, Belgium is Central Europe, and Central Europe, like Belgium, Holland, Germany, is approximately originally the same. Like good quality Brazil and good quality Central American coffees like Guatemala, they were the historical blends and the historical basis for coffee. And the coffee was brewed at home in the 60s, the 70s and the 80s using filter machines, automatic filter machines. So you had like a clean paper filter coffee, which was good on average, not like high scoring specialty, but like good average coffee. We lost that culture. Due to the convenient type of things that we discussed earlier in our conversation. And we looked at it like, oh, that's the grandmother's coffee. And that's old fashioned and that's not good quality. When your grandmother had fresh coffee from a good roaster in Belgium back in the 70s, you had a wonderful cup of coffee. You had like a good Bourbon from Guatemala, blended with like Catuai, Catura, Bourbon, Mondenovo from Brazil. And if you had like a good roaster, you had a good coffee. I was raised like that, with good coffee by my parents in the 70s and the 80s. Filter coffee, filter brew, every morning, every afternoon, on Sunday, whatever.
Because also being close to the port, it's...
yeah, it was easy. And we had a lot of roasters in Belgium back in those days. They're doing a good job. We lost a bit of that culture because of different aspects coming in. Espresso from Italy came in, but was like more a bitterish, but a trendy brew. So all the bars, all the restaurants changed to espresso, but they never knew how to brew it properly. So you get like an espresso which was just like very bitterish and dark and over roasted. So you had like a bitterish, nutty espresso. That was basically what it was. And then all the convenience came in, like the Senseo pads. Then we got the Nespresso cups. Then we had a lot of small machines that we discussed, talked about. All of those things came in, and as far as I'm concerned, they never raised the level of quality. They made it easier, but never raised the level of quality. So for people, there was never ever the need to search for good quality coffee. Then the specialty coffee slowly came in due to the bars, due to small roasters, the micro roasters like myself. And we tried to change that again, but that's not an easy job, not an easy way. The bigger and the more urban the city is, and the younger people, like people in their 20s and 30s, are getting into coffee, the easier it gets to convince them to be open for something new. It's not easy to convince 60-year-old and plus old people that they have to change again to filter coffee, because they have like these convenient machines at home. They look fancy in the kitchen, and they think like, hey, this makes espresso, and espresso is the highest
Exactly.
level of coffee that you can ever imagine. So I have this machine, it costed 2,000 euros, it must brew perfect coffee. And it's hard and very disappointing to tell them that it isn't. That it's just like reproducing an ordinary level of coffee, and that they shouldn't try even to put in like a nice quinoa into those machines, because they will underextract the coffee and you will have a very sour, unbalanced brew. And then people are like, okay, so I can't buy this nice pack of coffee from you. Well, you can, but I wouldn't advise you, because your machine is under extracting this nice coffee and it will not come out nice. And you will think, oh, I don't like this coffee, and why is it more expensive? Well, your machine messed it up. So try to appreciate a good coffee and don't mess it up with the machines.
How delicate is the coffee supply chain? Yeah?
It is very delicate. Yeah.
Actors working
Yes, exactly. And we can learn from each other, as said.
Yeah, that's important.
But we have to, all of us, I think we have to try to teach the consumer. They should start drinking coffee in a bit different way than they are doing today. And then we all will be more happy. We can sell better quality coffees. Because nowadays you see like this trend to a lot of naturals, a lot of different processings, anaerobic naturals, double anaerobic naturals, coffee with a maceration first phase and then a different processing. And they are getting very popular within the specialty coffee bars.
Sure.
So I have a lot of clients looking for that type of coffee, but they brew that coffee by hand on a Calito, a Hario, Chemex. They do an AeroPress, they do a filter brew type of coffee, and they enjoy that type of coffee. But that's not the type of coffee that you put into an automatic espresso machine, because it will not be what you need.
Yeah, for sure.
And as long as not more people are into getting their hands on brewing a good filter coffee, these nice new processings, these nice new experimental coffees will stay niche.
Okay.
And that's a pity, because they are so wonderful, so tasty, so complex. And I wish more people discover how big the variety of coffee is. But then you need to open up.
Yeah, I'm sure that thanks to people like you who are putting passion within the business,
yes,
it will change.
Thanks a lot. I hope so.
So
we'll do this together.
Yes. Do you have any question for us, or for me, for Mareterra, for?
I do. You asked a lot of questions about Mucho Gusto coffee, a lot of questions about specialty coffee, my relationship with Central America, but I got some questions for you as well.
Please.
About Mareterra. When did Mareterra start into coffee trading?
Okay, Mareterra, Rafa Moral, the owner of and the founder of the company,
yes,
actually founded the company in 1978.
Okay,
in Spain. But then, of course, it was a totally different war, it was a totally different time, and totally different type of business that how we know today Mareterra.
Okay.
So that's why it turned into specialty coffee in 2003.
Okay, yeah.
So there it's really starting not only receiving a sample and saying I want this and I don't want this, but really building a strong relationship with the partners and already importing some coffee that you can already they have already paid with the differentials.
Okay.
So doing something also for the coffee farmers.
Exactly. Okay. Oh, nice.
And then of course years over years we've been developing the micro lots with producers. Strong relationship in Nicaragua was the first coffee that we imported. Specialty coffee that we imported.
Back in 2003.
2003, exactly. Okay. Then we have been building a very good relationship with Salvador, with Salaverria, Guatemala, Café, Brazil da Terra. So, and we are moving on with this philosophy. Not going every year and changing every year the partner, as actually you think the way of doing business.
Yes.
And it's the same with Africa.
Okay.
So it's already been this year as well. Is the second year with the Rwanda social project that we are developing.
Okay.
So we also do this not only creating microlots and bringing coffee, but also doing something for the community. And it's the second year that we do this breast cancer project in Rwanda, which is for every kilo that we sell of those coffee, it's a part is invested for fighting against breast cancer.
Okay, interesting, nice. So more than 20 years already into the specialty,
yes,
into coffee.
for sure.
Okay. And Nicaragua was the
Exactly.
first country. Okay, very interesting. Do you still remember that coffee? Is it like, is it like a special place within the company? Like it was like a Catura or I don't know, or Catuai? Is it like?
Personally, when 2003, I was 6 years old.
Okay, so. Yeah, it's a different time for you as well.
But we can organize with Rafa a call, and he will let you know everything about that.
Okay. The name Maritera, because we talked about Mucho Gusto, which means like nice to meet you in Spanish. What's the meaning of Maritera, and what does it mean today?
Yes, so Maritera is come from Madre Tierra in Spanish.
So Mother Earth?
So exactly, Mother Earth for our audience. So it's as every product that comes from the ground, also coffee. So that was the main idea. And then it turned into Maritera because it's in Catalan. So in Catalan you say Maritera as the company is based in Castelldefels, which is 20 minutes away from Barcelona.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Great place. If you come pass by, you're welcome.
I will do for sure. I will do. So Ali, after more than 20 years in specialty coffee with Maritera, which changes do you see? What's happening in the specialty coffee market for you as a specialty coffee trader?
Okay, so for sure it has been changing a lot. Also, we see this year the big changes in the stock market.
Yes, of course. It was huge.
Even though we work in the specialty coffee scene, we need to look at that.
There's an impact,
still,
of course.
For sure. And for sure, if I have to look at my side as a consumer, I've seen like a big change into the marketing.
Yes.
Also, this is very impactful, and still today, many specialty coffee brands they are investing a lot in marketing, especially showing a lot in social media.
Yes.
But then sometimes it's not totally reflected on quality.
So the story looks a bit more posh and nice and flavorful than the coffee itself.
It happens.
It happens.
It's happening.
It happens in every sector,
so
I guess.
That's exactly. So that's why we need to be very careful and understanding the traceability and all the supply chain that there is behind a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And that's important. And thanks to roasters like you and importers that think in our way.
Yeah.
Going to origin, building strong relationship with the farmers, but also with roasters.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
So yes, this is the big change that I've seen.
How do you think that the impact, we talked about Brazil a minute ago, and how the sea market pricing is evolving. How do you look at that for the future? What will the impact be of like problems with harvest in Brazil or Vietnam? How will this affect the specialty coffee industry, do you think?
So for sure we have been facing a very tough year and challenging, even though it's always been like this in coffee, as it's a volatile market. But this year especially we have seen from one side a big growth in demand.
Yes.
So this is for sure a factor impact. And on the other side, a bit problems with production.
Yes.
So yes, climate change sometimes it has been used too much as an excuse, but actually something happened with it. So, but coffee farmers, they are reacting to it. So there is they are trying to finding alternatives. Yes. But also logistically, it's what
it's challenging, very challenging.
It's challenging because of course you cannot deal. It's not only coffee that is imported from other countries. Yes. There are like all the other raw materials that have been imported. So big cost in importation and big traffic. So this caused a lot of demand. So you know, when there is a lot of demand,
it's more difficult to match
supply
and
exactly,
demand,
and prices have been increasing. So Brazil, it's of course an origin that we are struggling. Africa, with all the problems with the Red Sea, right now since recently the containers had to do another trip all around, not passing by the Suez Canal, but
going around
south. So, but it's challenging, and we need to be ready for it. Okay.
What do you think about the next harvest in Brazil? How do you see, will prices go up further? Will we have higher prices when we have this talk next year? Or in half a year? Is harvest looking better? Or how do you look at
so I read the
next
reports
month?
every day.
Yes.
And it's always really tough to rely on those ones. So, because it's very tough to forecast the nature. I have to say. From our side, what is important to understand is to finding the alternatives to alternatives to the coffee that we always been sure that we have them, like Brazil.
Like Brazil.
So also, for example, in Ethiopia, we are looking for alternatives to under some profiles to replace some Brazilians.
Some Brazilian coffee.
About the pricing, I don't want to be exposed on this, having any responsibilities.
Okay, clear. Well, a challenging market.
So yes, but
it always has been, but today it's a bit, even a bit more. Okay.
Let's see what will be next. For sure, I have to say something. If you pass by Hasselt, you can pass to drink a fabulous specialty coffee at a coffee shop of Mucho Gusto. Can you please tell the address?
The address of the Mucho Gusto coffee bar in my hometown in Hasselt is Zuivelmarkt 44. It's right in the center of town, which is a small town, so it's easy to locate and easy to find. Zuivelmarkt 44. That's the place to be for this nice brew.
Amazing coffee. Thanks a lot, and bye, Roel.
You're welcome, Ali. See you. Bye.